Welcome, everyone. This is David from Boston Hammers. I'm here. I'm interviewing Adoksh Shastry, the founder of Indian Hammers. How's it going?
Hi, Dave. Thank you. Thank you for having me, David. It's really good to be here. Nice to be on your show and just connect with another West Ham group. It's really an honor to be here.
Oh, thank you. It's an honor speaking with you as well. I'm very impressed by the Indian Hammers, the dedication they show, particularly since some of the matches are on so late at night in India. That must be a tough challenge. But just tell us a little bit about your group. How was it founded? When was it founded? What's your philosophy?
So yeah, so I think now we're about 6 years old, 7 years old now. Actually, we were founded in 2014. It's actually a funny story because I was scrolling through the web trying to find any other West Ham fans in India, and I was like, it's impossible that we have 1.2 billion people and no West Ham fans. There's got to be another idiot out there who's chosen this club. So scroll through a lot of Facebook back then, and I went to West Ham's social media page. And I think the only way I could do it back then was scroll through all of the 300,000, 400,000 followers of the West Ham page. And
Wow.
Yeah, and try and identify any of these Indian names, right?
Yeah. That's
And
crazy. Yeah, it's amazing how much the internet has really changed football.
yeah,
And we'll talk about the Super League later and how the internet and how TV has completely changed things. It used to be so much more difficult. I used to have to go to a bar every single weekend to watch the West Ham matches, but now it's every single game is right there for you.
that's
Yeah, so it's been a gigantic change. But keep going. I interrupted you.
Yeah, no, that's true. So I think from that list, I think most of them were Indians who were living in London, who lived in East London, and
Mhm.
that they were supporting West Ham. But I came across one name whose location seemed to show that he was in India. So reached out to him, and he was as surprised as I was that there is another West Ham fan in India. And he lived up north in India, pretty far away in Punjab. But got together talking to him, and then we decided, look, there's got to be more of us out there. We split the work, split the responsibilities, went on finding more, and I think by the end of the year we had like 7-8 members that we had found, and
Mhm.
those 7-8 bought another 6-7 that they knew, and slowly for the last 6 years the group's been building. So that's how it was formed, actually.
And are you able to watch any of the matches together, considering you live in different regions of India?
So we try to meet up with anyone who's close to us. So where I live in Bangalore in the south. We have about 7-8 members in my city itself.
Mhm.
So we meet up quite often actually to watch the
Nice.
games. We usually head to a pub. Or we screen it at one of our homes if it's beyond a particular time, right? Because
Mhm.
I close up around 11:30 here. Bars and clubs shut down here at 11:30. So if it's a late night game around 1 o'clock and stuff, we usually screen it at someone's house. So we do that in Bangalore. I know a couple of guys in Goa do that as well. So everyone meets up within their respective cities, and once a year we try to meet at one centralized location. So most of us turn up there and watch one game at least a year
That
together.
must be really awesome. That must be something to really look forward to.
Yeah, that's on our annual calendar all the time. This year obviously we couldn't do it because of COVID restrictions,
Mhm.
and the way things are going, 2021 looks tough as well here,
Yeah,
but
there's been a surge in India, so I hope you and your friends are all safe and your family.
yeah, so far so good. Just hopefully everyone stays safe, masks
Mhm.
up, and socially distances, and we get through this.
Yep. Best of luck on that front. What would you say is the philosophy of the Indian Hammers, or your mission in general, if you
I
have
think
one?
Yeah, no, I think the most important thing that we've been trying to spread, at least in India, where most of the football supporters, because there's no direct connect to your locality, right? I mean, someone supports a United in the United Kingdom because they are from that particular region of Manchester. But
Mhm.
when you're in India and you're supporting a club which is 5,000, 6,000 miles away, most of the football supporters here support a particular club because of their former famous players, or because of the trophies that they won, or because of the glory, right?
Mhm.
And we're trying to spread the message that, look, there's something beyond that in football. Football is not always about results. Football is not about who's been champion so many times, who's winning the Champions League. Sure, we all want that, but that's not the be all end all of football. Football is also about small moments. And I think as West Ham fans, we've been trying to spread that message across more and more newer fans who are coming through in India, newer football fans, that look, it's not necessary that you pick a Manchester United or a Chelsea or an Arsenal. It's fine if you really like them for a particular reason. It's good to follow them as well. But there are clubs beyond the so-called Big Six, or the Super Six that you call them now.
Totally. Yeah, I've been noticing your messaging on Twitter that you're really emphasizing that point. And I think it's really fascinating that that point has really come forth in the mainstream media now with the opposition to the Super League. I think you know your answer, but I want to hear what you have to say about what were your views on the potential Super League, how you think it relates to football culture in general, how you see yourself as a football supporter.
It was shameful, wasn't it?
And yeah, completely shameful, just a gigantic money grab.
Exactly. I don't think there was any football fan who would have sided with it. Thankfully, anyone I spoke to here in India as well, whether they were Liverpool supporter, City supporter, any of the top six supporters, they were very clear. And we're 6,000 miles away, and the message was very clear even here, that this is greed. This is just a way to solidify their position in a time when the teams like Leicester, West Ham this season, Everton, everyone's creeping up on them, and it's so. I was so disappointing to see they already fight at a different level, considering the amount of money that they spend on some of their players. And
yeah, the money discrepancy is gigantic, and they just wanted to widen it. They just wanted to widen it.
Just to widen that gap is something we couldn't relate to at all. And we've seen this happen, unfortunately. For most of your viewers, it won't I mean, this may come as a surprise, but the Indian Football League that exists in India today is a closed league.
Well, there's two leagues, right? There is the Super League and there's the I League, if I understand it correctly.
Exactly. That's correct. And the I League's been there for years. It was called the National Federation League, and it's been there, well, probably since our independence. And even before that, some of the trophies like the Durand Cup and everything, these are pre-independence trophies that have been there. And there have been clubs spread out across the country which have been fighting for those trophies. And in 2013, we just disregarded all of that and formed the Indian Super League, which is a closed league, by the way, until up to 2024, 2025, when for the first time they will open it up for promotion relegation. But what we did was we threw away decades and centuries of legacies that a lot of clubs had. And so we knew what that meant. We knew what the European Super League was trying, because we felt that.
Yeah, you were a test case.
Yeah, we were a test case, and it works for the clubs that are in it, because the best broadcasters are going to cover that. The most amount of money is going to go there. The most advertising is going to go there, and the best players are going to go there.
Exactly.
But the number of clubs that have been shut down and the number of clubs that have lost so much revenue in India was exactly what was going to happen with the European Super League as well. And
yeah, I was also astounded by the lack of understanding of European footballing culture, that they just said this is going to be good for football. They didn't really give a detailed plan. They didn't say why. They did say we'll get to pass down more money. They did say, we'll be saving teams on the football pyramid, but they never made an agreement as to how they were going to share that money. They didn't try to win over the supporters. They didn't take any polls. It just seemed really, really arrogant in a totally see-through way. And I think that's why it came crashing down immediately.
Absolutely. They didn't even try to mask it. Like you said, it was completely see-through. I think they were so clouded by the bubble they live in, that billionaires bubble, where none of them really understand what football means to the people in the UK, or what those clubs really mean to those fans. And I think that was the main reason, even though their own fans revolted and are revolting right now as well. I mean,
yeah, and to be honest, I'm proud of, even though I dislike the majority of the teams in the Big Six, if not all of them, maybe not Manchester City, I'm proud of the way their supporters reacted. Um,
Absolutely.
but going back to football in India, who is the team you support in India if you do indeed support one?
I do. I support my local team, which is Bengaluru FC.
That's what
Uh,
I thought from Twitter. And they made the final of the AFC Cup, correct?
yes, that's correct. We became the. I mean, we're a young club. 2013, 2014 was when we were founded.
Mhm.
Bangalore didn't have a football club of its own, and in the 7 years we've been there, we've won a trophy every single year except for last year. Last year
Nice,
was
nice. And before coronavirus hit, would you attend many of the matches?
oh yeah, all the time. So I'm a season ticket holder here. So for
Nice.
the
I
last
like it. I
3 years,
like it.
yeah, last 3 years, and the football stadium is about 15 minutes by walk from where I work.
Mhm.
So every evening it was just change into the football jersey, walk down and attend the match, go back to work if it's a late night, or head out for a drink. But it was great. I mean, that's one of the things I miss the most about the pandemic affecting our
Me
daily life.
too. I can't wait to go back to matches. Just West Ham matches, even though I don't like the London Stadium nearly as much as Upton Park.
Yeah.
But I also have a team in Mexico I support and a team in Italy I support because my mom is Italian. You might have heard
Oh,
of them. They're called Lecce. They're in
yeah,
the second
yeah,
division now, Serie
yeah,
B. But I'm
yeah.
just really looking forward to traveling. It's gonna be so awesome when all of this ends.
Absolutely.
But I actually do have a surprise for you. I don't. Did you notice the jersey I have up here?
I can't really see.
I'll show you. It's interesting. So it's actually the Iraqi Air Force Club, and that's who beat
Oh,
Bengaluru FC in the final. That's why I thought it'd
yeah,
be
we
interesting to
got
show
that.
it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
what I do is I collect a jersey from each club country in the world and try to get it with the official player name and number or number on the back. So it was
Oh,
just
great.
a coincidence that that's the one I have from
Oh, that
Iraq.
brings
So I thought I'd post that one just to make a connection.
back some painful memories.
Yeah, I knew. I know.
But do you
I
have
knew
any,
it probably would.
do you have an Indian football jersey?
Say it again.
I was asking if you have a football jersey from India already.
No, I support Mohun Bagan, but they're in the I League. They're not in the Super League. But I believe they drew with Bengaluru in the first ever Bengaluru match in recorded history, 1-1. If my memory serves me correct.
Mohan Bagan is back in the ISL though. They're back in the Super League now.
Oh,
So
okay, okay.
they've been merged with another team that existed in Kolkata, and now it's called ATK Mohan Bagan, and fans are protesting that all the way through. So
Okay,
that's
okay,
good.
that's good to know. I, we could do many shows. We could even do a Super League show. That would be awesome. That's what I love about this. There's so many different directions you can go on.
Yeah.
But back to West Ham. How are you feeling about the Chelsea game? What's your prediction? What's your ideal lineup?
Oh, I'm so nervous about this. One of the good things that happened today was Newcastle scored late and drew with Liverpool. Just keeps us in fifth for now, at least. But this game is going to be so crucial. I, I mean, I don't know which West Ham is going to turn up, but of late we have been good. I know the Newcastle game uh, really didn't go our way, but that really was an exception because we have been attacking well. I really hope with Ogbonna back, our defense shows up and is a little bit tighter. I know Cresswell and Masuaku may be out for today.
Yeah, I think
So,
Masuaku, it's really right up
yeah.
until game time. They won't know if the fluid in his
Oh,
knee has
okay.
been reduced. So I think no one knows yet whether Masuaku will start, but I agree, probably not.
Probably not. And so my team for today is Fabianski in goal. Then you have Sufal, Ogbonna, Diop, and Ben Johnson.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, no, I think I'll stick with the four. No, actually, I'll stick with the five. Let's bring in uh,
Balbuena.
Balbuena as well. So Diop, Ogbonna, and Balbuena in the center. Sufal and Johnson on the wings.
Mhm. That's
Uh,
what I have.
yeah, Ben Rama starts for me today. I hope I hope he really does well.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that is the main tension right here, that we play better with five at the back, but
yeah,
we with the injuries we don't have the ideal personnel to play
yeah,
five at the back. I think Ogbonna and Johnson on the left side, that's very weak on the left side. Not because Ogbonna is bad, but just because he can play in the center as well as on the wing in a 5-sided defense. So that's really weak down that side. But then I really want the trident of Lanzini, Bowen, and Lingard in. And that's tough when Benrahma is entered. Although you could remove Noble, move Fornals back, and have Benrahma go forward and play 4 at the back.
Yeah.
But then that's also very weak defensively. So, I think the injuries are kind of making it very difficult. I imagine one of these games Benrahma will start just because of Noble's legs. He's older. I don't think he can play every match, and I don't think that's his fault.
Yeah.
So to me, it will be extremely interesting to see whether we go 4 at the back and possibly with Benrahma over Noble, or possibly over Fornals. I don't know. But I really like Fornals. I really like how he supports the other players defensively. I really like the way he links up with Lingard and Bowen or whoever's in at striker. So I definitely don't want to see him sacrificed. But to be honest, with all the questions, I don't even know. Like if Masuaku is healthy, I definitely think we'll go 5 at the back. But
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see. I think it's hard to predict. What's your prediction? How do you think it will end?
I'm saying 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
I think we will score. I don't see us not scoring today. But like you mentioned, in the absence of Cresswell and Masuaku, Johnson's good, but he's not what you would necessarily need for this Chelsea game. I would have been so happy.
Totally agree.
Masuaku were there, if Cresswell or Masuaku were there, but I guess I'm hoping and banking on the defense of Ogbonna marshalling that defense again, like he was at the start of the season before his injury as well. So hoping that his return, I know last game was his first game back. Now he's a little more settled in. So hopefully we don't concede as many goals as we have been off late. And up front, I know you're going, I don't know if Benrahma is going to start, but I really hope he does, because I have a good feeling that he's going to score today. I really need him to score that one goal, which probably will give him that boost of confidence he's probably lacking right now. And hoping that once he scores that goal, the form he was in the championship comes back to him here as well.
Yeah, and to be honest, he's had good games when he started. Yeah. I don't think he's valuable as a sub, especially in Moyes' system. He played well against Crystal Palace as a starter, and he played really well against Aston Villa as a starter. Granted that there was a very special lineup in that Aston Villa match where they put Fredericks in to kind of shadow Jack Grealish on either side, and that kind of allows more freedom for Benrahma. But I think he needs to be given a chance, and I think David Moyes will be forced to give him a chance just because our squad is so thin right now.
That's true.
Which is not David Moyes' fault. I believe that's the owner's fault. Which brings me up to my next question. How do you feel about our owners? How do you feel the direction they've taken the club in the last 10 years, especially with the move to London Stadium? What are your views on that?
I don't think we were happy with the move to the London Stadium. Most of us here at the Indian Hammers had at least watched one game at Upton Park. It was sad we couldn't make it at all the final year before we moved. We just couldn't make it for multiple reasons. No one was there. But moving to the London Stadium, I think the dream that was sold hasn't really materialized. Just looking at the stadium on TV doesn't give you the same feels that Upton Park used to give you.
No, not even close. Not even close.
So I don't think we feel as passionately as much as you or the rest of the West Ham fans who go to the stadium day in, day out, right? Because for us, West Ham games are and will always be predominantly a TV exercise. It's far too expensive for us to fly into London as often as we would like to watch a West Ham game. And so for us, quite honestly, the hatred we see towards the owners or the complaints we see towards the owners doesn't really resonate as much. I know we didn't like the move to the London Stadium, but we don't feel the pain that the fans go through when sitting in that London stadium for us to react as strongly to it. So that's why for a lot of this, we just stay away from it. We don't comment for or against. We talk about the club a lot more. We really don't get into the ownership angle of it. Only because, and I'm being honest here, because we don't feel as much of the problems that you and the rest of the West Ham fans face
Yeah.
in that shift, right?
Yeah, I only I live in the United States. I live in Boston in the United States, but I
You do
travel
go.
twice a year. But just it was the promises that upset me. It was that the seats were going to be close to the pitch, even though they were retractable. It was going to look excellent. It would have a good atmosphere. We would get European football. Ironically, we might get within, but I think they said 6 years. I don't think they said 10 years.
They said,
Okay. Yeah, which didn't happen. And I was really shocked my first time going there. I was shocked by how empty it was just around the stadium. You take public transport and then you kind of walk through this half-mile just empty area. There's no vendors. There's not that rush you get, when you came out of the tube stop close to Upton Park. It doesn't have that kind of community feel with everyone buzzing. And then just the seats are so far away, and it's a bowl like this, you know what I mean? Like if it were more like that and the seats were far away, it wouldn't be the same thing. And also the different sections feel very haphazard and not connected, and you can't say, oh, this is the chicken run here, and it has this identity. So it's very disappointing. I do understand though that we can't change it, right? As much as we wish we could, these are the owners we're stuck with at this point. I'm really hoping they sell in 2023. I think the only crazy thing about, or one crazy thing about this Super League idea is if it had gone through, is their bet of the profit of the club. The profit of the club for them would have gone down so much, which would have been interesting to see how they reacted to that. I think that's the reason they opposed the Super League, not out of any appreciation for West Ham United Football Club or its supporters. I think they know that the value of West Ham United would just plummet if there was a Super League. And they weren't included in it, obviously.
No, but I think the reason, we really don't argue so much for or against this is because I think it comes from what kind of football you see at home, right? And most Indian football stadiums do have an athletic track around them. There's hardly a handful of stadiums which are purpose-built football stadiums, because cricket's
cricket is massive in India.
Cricket is massive here. Football's picking up over the last decade or so, but it costs a lot of money to build a stadium, and quite honestly, with the finances that the clubs run in here, we just use or rent existing athletic stadiums. So even the Bengaluru FC stadium that we have right now, it has a massive track around it. So I think a lot of this comes from what kind of football and what kind of owners you see in your home town, right? And
yeah, that makes sense.
Quite honestly, GSB sound like a blessing compared to some of the things we have. So we just stay away from this.
Interesting. And back to the Chelsea match. What is your actual score prediction for the game? I kind of moved our conversation in a new direction without getting your prediction, which was my fault.
2-2 for me. I think it's going to be really difficult for us to win today, only because of the fact that it's such a unique and new position we find ourselves in, right? Usually these kind of games, especially the game last year, right? The game against Chelsea was the one that kick-started our move away from relegation. With the one Yarmolenko scored.
I was not at that match, but I was at the first match at away. The 1-0 David Martin game. I attended that match in the way.
Okay. Oh, that would have been a great moment to.
It was probably my best West Ham viewing experience. When that goal went in by Cresswell, everyone was just going nuts. Someone actually kind of lifted me and waved me in the air. Kind of the chanting. We out-chanted the Chelsea supporters in their own stadium at Stamford Bridge. It was really fun.
Yeah, that was a great game. But coming back to this one, I think it's going to be so difficult to win this because it's a unique position. We're not used to having to fight for a win to finish in the top four. So
Mhm.
I don't know what sort of pep talk David Moyes is going to have. I know he's going to boost the morale. I know the team's going to give it their all. But Chelsea's just been in this situation so many more times than we have
Mhm.
been. So I just have this feeling that they're going to be more prepared for this game than we are on how to approach this game at least. And but I think we have enough in our system to take away a draw at least.
My prediction is the exact same, 2-2. I don't think our offense will misfire or not be on point as much as in the Newcastle match, as you said. I think we'll be well up for this match. I think it's going to be very tense. I think it's going to be very hard fought. I actually see us going up 2-1 and then kind of running out of gas. And we don't really have a plan B because of the players. We don't have enough to really switch a game plan mid-match. We did at the beginning of the season with all of our players healthy. So I see our on the wing, our defense kind of getting a little tired, and maybe someone having to be substituted, and then us being weaker defensively, and then maybe sneaking a draw 2-2. They may be looking ahead to their match against Real Madrid, and they play a lot of teams in the top 5 coming up. But I believe they rotate their wing backs, so their wing backs won't be tired. So I think that will help them on the flank against us, and that's why I see a 2-2. But I am really excited for the match. I'm really nervous. Yeah, I don't know what to do with myself. This is like the biggest match for West Ham.
It is. It is
since I
our
can
biggest
remember.
game
So
of the season. It is easily our biggest game of the season because can you imagine winning today and being 1 point away from Leicester? Uh, I know they have probably a game in hand and all of that, but you've built that gap, and right now I think it's crucial to have some sort of comfort. Sure, we may not get Champions League. I'm talking out of all the years of West Ham negativity that I have, that we probably may not get Champions League
I think if
football.
you had to bet your life on it, that's what I would say. But there's still a possibility. There's still a possibility.
There
But
is.
yeah, sorry, keep going. I interrupt you.
Yeah, but all I want today is, if we get those 3 points, we build that cushion for at least a Europa League position, right?
Mhm.
And that's not a bad deal at all. Come end of the season. So
Yeah, the baseline for me is European football. I think with, at least it looks, the coronavirus in the UK, they're doing good. I think they'll be able to have fans at the start of the new campaign. And I think to just start the season, the 21-22 season, with fans in the stadium, with a European tie, I just think that's what we need, especially with the lack of an atmosphere there at the London Stadium. I just think that would be great. I also think with the passion the supporters are showing in defiance of the Super League, I think whenever we play any of those big six next year, it's just going to be insane. I'm really looking forward to that. But I just think that would be ideal to start with European football with the new campaign. And I think this season must be viewed as a failure if we finish outside 6 and we finish 7. And depending on how it plays out with the results of the FA Cup and stuff like that, and the Carabao Cup, and we miss European football altogether, I think it has to be viewed as a failure in my mind. But I'm with you that I wouldn't be, even though I really want it to happen, I wouldn't be crestfallen if we were 5th or 6th as opposed to 4th.
Same, yeah.
Just considering the quality of the other teams we're battling against. Although finishing it ahead of Spurs would really that would really make my year. But it's also hilarious. Another kind of subplot of this whole Super League madness is Spurs firing Jose Mourinho because they thought they were going to get the Super League money, but now they don't have it, and now they have to pay off the remainder of his contract, so they lose money in this whole fiasco when they thought they were going to gain it.
Always great to see these things happen to Spurs.
I know it's just too easy. Like all these things. I normally don't like these kind of things on social media, but just the jokes about them having 0 Super League titles and everything and trophies and stuff like that, it makes me laugh every single time. I can't get enough of it.
Yeah.
And when is the next Bengaluru match?
So we have the AFC Cup going on right
Yeah.
now. We won our first. So we're in the what do you call them? Playoffs
Yeah, playoff
for
spots. Or no, you're actually in the actual playoffs.
yeah, we're in the playoffs. We were in the preliminary round 2.
Yeah.
We won that against a team from Nepal. That was a pretty comprehensive win. We won 5-0. Now our second playoff, and if we win that, we go to the group stages.
Yeah.
It was scheduled for the end of this month, but I think because of coronavirus restrictions for the host country, the team is not able to fly out to Bangalore to play that game, rather to
Okay,
go
that
out
makes
to play it.
sense. I should have figured. Yeah.
Yeah, so the game was supposed to be held in Goa. Bengaluru FC is already there. They've been there for the last month or so. But I don't think that game is going ahead. So I think things are going to be pushed around a little. And
Unfortunately, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, well,
So
I can promise you one thing. I'm going to do my research on the Indian Super League just so we can talk more about it, and maybe we could do our own show just separate from West Ham. I think that would be
absolutely. And
really fun.
I'm going to be sending you a Bengaluru FC jersey just to add to your collection.
Oh, thank you so much. That would be awesome. I may have to. I never switch allegiances to a team, but I may have to. Mohun Bagan is my team, but what? I may just have to switch allegiances this one time, just for you and our connection. Is there anything else you want to discuss before we end the show?
No, just if you can tell me how big West Ham is in Boston and the US in general, just to understand how big the club is there. Because
I would say in the USA overall, they're really big. Yeah, like I meet supporters everywhere, and it's the supporter groups are in every city. You know, they're in Fresno. You know, they're in Oklahoma, they're in Boston, they're in Chicago, they're in Philadelphia. All the big cities have a supporters group. And, you know, there's roughly like 30 people who go to the pubs and watch them.
how does that happen? How did you pick West Ham? How did West Ham spread in the US?
Just for me, football was always in my life because my mom was Italian. And every summer I would go. So I started out with national team soccer, because that's all I could see in the summer because the games weren't televised in the United States. But then as soon as the games became available on TV, I really took to club soccer. It was way better than national team soccer. I started going to pubs to watch Serie A Lecce, but then I also started going to pubs to watch West Ham, or just to watch the Premier League to start. Friends would take me along. This was in like 2006. But I just love the passion and intensity of the fans. I love the style of the Premier League. Just kind of the very back and forth, end to end, not a lot of time on the ball. I think it is the most appealing style of football out there, the style of football that's played in the Premier League. And then I didn't want to choose one of the big teams, going back to your philosophy that it doesn't have to be about this big six. It's about moments, it's about culture, it's about the supporters. And they seem to have a very dedicated fan base. They were known for a few things, the FA Cup in 1980, having 3 players on the World Cup winning team. But they weren't, you know, I didn't want to be a glory hunter. So I chose West Ham, and it was really quick. It was, I saw 3 Premier League games and then chose West Ham, and then I was going every weekend to watch them. I decided I'm going to go full on into this. But to answer your question about how it got popular in America was, first the games started to be shown on TV in pubs, and people would go to the games to watch, and I think they became interested, like I said, because of the style of the play. I think that the language broadcasts were English, and most Americans have English as their first language. So there kind of became a mini fan base around that. Then when NBC, it's an American TV channel, when they started showing the games for free, that's when it really grew. Because then you didn't even have to go to the pub anymore. You could go and watch it at home on your TV. And I think that's really who a lot of the owners of the Super League were targeting. I think they really wanted to enhance the American audience. I think even some of the audience in Asia and Africa. which is, I think the Premier League is really accessible. The style of play, it's English language. I think it kind of had a new feel to it too, that this was different than other American sports.
Yeah.
I think that's what attracted some people. But to be honest, the American supporters sometimes do have that, they really just want to see a win, and they're disappointed if the team doesn't win. And you're like, no, this is a lifetime thing. I really like what you said. It's a game of moments, of special moments.
That's what we keep telling. Of late we've had some of these new members come in, right? Like I've been supporting West Ham now for what, 20 odd years now. I'm 29. I've been supporting them since I started watching football in India when I was 10, 11 years old. So for me, I've gone through that roller coaster that West Ham is.
Yeah.
But some of the new members who reach out to us and who watch the games with us and all of that, they became West Ham fans, for example, in the Dimitri Payet season, right? And it's tough to explain to them, saying, look, that was an off season.
That was an aberration.
It doesn't happen that way all the time. We don't get players like that all the time. But stick with us, and don't be one of those who shift clubs all the time. Just stay with West Ham. It's going to give you so many beautiful moments that most clubs, well, you're not going to feel the length and breadth of emotions that a West Ham fan goes through. You're just not going to.
No, absolutely not.
Emotions. So that's how we try and convince them. And we've had so many of these new members come in, and some of them are kids, and you always have that fear saying, look, oh man, they're in college, they're just discovering football, so they're going to shift base and all of that. But thankfully we've had some.
Well, really I have that fear, but I also have the philosophy, if they shift, you didn't need them to begin with. Exactly. They proved that they weren't proper West Ham. That's kind of how I view it.
Exactly.
Okay, Adoksh, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Hopefully we can do this every week. I know the timing is difficult, but I can make sure to try to adjust my schedule. Pleasure talking to you. Love the Indian Hammers as a group. I love the philosophy your group has. But thank you for coming on, and come on, you Irons.
Thank you for having us.
No problem.